morning.
Good morning.
Man, how do I follow that? That was pretty cool. A popular belief that I'm seeing more and more is that all roads lead to heaven. More and more of my friends or people that I meet talk about other religions and other beliefs, and they say that they all have truth and they all lead to heaven. Even people that grew up in church are starting to move in that direction. Well, if you believe the Bible, you know that can't be true. If you believe in Jesus, you have to believe in what he said. And he said in John 14:6, Jesus said to him, "I am the way, the truth, and the life, and no one comes to the Father except through me." And also in Acts 4:12, it says, "And there is salvation in no one else, for there is no other name under heaven given among men by which we must be saved." That's the thing about Jesus. You can't just look at him like a teacher. If he was just a teacher, he wouldn't have done or said the things that he did. He said plainly, he is the only way to the Father. The number of times that Jesus said, if you've seen him, you've seen the Father. If you know him, you know the Father. All point to, he is the only way. He is the truth. And all truth comes from God. God is the only truth, and that's proven by his Son. You can't believe in multiple truths or multiple ways. If you believe in Jesus, and if Jesus is the only way, then why do we still try to go our own way? Why do we still try to make our own path? It's like if Jesus said he's preparing a place for us, which he did in John chapter 14. It starts with, "Do not let your hearts be troubled. If you believe in God, believe also in me. My Father's house has many rooms. If that were not so, would I have told you that I'm going there to prepare a place for you? And if I go and prepare a place, I'll come back and take you to be with me, that you also may be where I am. You know the way to the place where I'm going." So he's preparing a place for us. He tells us he's going to take us there. He tells us he's the only way. And we say we want to go our own way. We say that these other beliefs sound true. We say that what he says doesn't apply to us, or that lifestyle doesn't make sense, or we say that there's some truth outside of Jesus. So instead of following the roadmap that Jesus gave us, and he told us the only way to the place he's preparing for us, we follow our own way, or the way that the world tells us. And the result of that is we get lost, we get caught up in traps or snares, or we fall off the path altogether, and we have no idea where to go. But Jesus is still there, and he gave us the map, and he said he's going to take us there. So no matter how far off course we get, we can always turn the car around and follow him. We can always come back to him and follow his lead. Jesus is our spiritual GPS. But the only reason that we can come back, the only reason that we can have that place Jesus is preparing for us is because of the cross. When we come to this time where we gather around the table with Jesus, we see the sacrifice that he made on our behalf in order to show us the way, in order to wash our mistakes clean, so that when we do get lost, we can still come back to him. He said these things about being the truth and preparing a place and going to the Father not long before he was crucified. And that's because he knew what was coming. He was giving his followers encouragement because he knew that soon his hands and feet would be pierced and he would hang on the cross, his body broken and his blood spilled, and they wouldn't understand. But just like he said, he came back 3 days later. He came out of that grave and made a way for us to follow him to the Father. When we come into this time, remember that it is because of what these elements represent that we know and can have the truth. The bread we eat represents the body that Jesus had broken as a perfect sacrifice for us. The juice we drink represents the blood that was spilled to pay the price for our sins and to wash all of them away. And because of that sacrifice, we can now follow him to our home with our Father. In a minute, while the band is playing, you can come to the front or the back tables